Hey, everybody. Hi. Okay, so my name is Tay Sconiers. I'm an artistic associate at PAC. We have the lovely Linnea Bond right here. Miss Bond, if you're nasty. Just kidding. She's an amazing actress, comedian, deviser. Are you a playwright as well, Linnea?
I have written plays, yes.
Of course you have, because you do realize it's a difficult time, and we're trying to just stay connected with one another and have some fun and entertain each other. So thank you, Linnea, so much.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here.
If you recognize Linnea, she played Crocal in VOYAGE, directed by Dan Hodge, and Linnea played Crocal. How was that for you, Linnea? Did you enjoy
it? Oh my gosh, well, I got to work with you, which was a blast. Gosh, what a great group of people. I'm still in contact with everybody and just so delighted to have been involved in that show. It was so much fun.
If you had to pick someone to be stuck in quarantine with, like a celebrity, anyone that you'd like to be stuck in quarantine with?
Well, honestly, like the first person that comes to mind would be Lin Manuel Miranda, and I think that he, like, just because we were talking about him, but then he also, like, he's just, I feel like he'd probably just go to everything, like with every part of this pandemic, it's been so up and down. So there's the days where you're like, I've got all this free time, like this is great, and he would be like party with you, and then like the times when you're like depressed as hell and you're like the world is falling apart, and like when am I gonna get to like do my art again, and like all these people are suffering and everything, and he would be like, yeah, let's talk about it, let's work through it, let's self-care, whatever. I feel like the stage I'm in is like, let's make stuff, I'm getting creative, I'm like doing all these different projects.
Lin Manuel's the perfect devising partner, is basically what you're
saying. God, can you imagine?
No. How are you feeling right now in this moment?
I feel great, but I want to acknowledge the fact that the greatness that I feel comes from layers and layers and layers of privilege. And I am hurting on behalf of my friends who are also hurting. Well, I had been looking forward all year to working with Azuka Theater on A Room at the Flamingo Hotel. And then after that, I was going to go to Virginia to do a show. So I was so excited to work with people who I'd been excited to work with. Those things are happening for the time being, for the foreseeable future, which is frustrating, but it means that there's other opportunities. And I think having the opportunity to rest has made a lot of space for other creative projects that I want to work on to open up. I decided that I wanted to create stories for kids because parents are sort of stuck in their homes right now with their kids, and I'm sure enjoying a lot of time with them, but also are feeling like they need a little bit of time. And also I'm seeing how kids are so much on devices, and I'm wondering if there's ways to provide kids opportunities to let their imagination flourish, have a little alone time. So I'm creating some stories that they can listen to in their own house and sort of explore, just have like an audio experience. That has also led to ideas about larger series around environmental issues that would involve them going to locations around Philadelphia, and also immigration. And that would also involve them going to different locations around Philadelphia. Although those are sort of longer term projects, I've just started grant writing for those to hopefully employ a bunch of actors who are not me. And so you can hear voices of people who are not Linnea Bond telling these stories, and characters representing people from all around Philadelphia and around the world. And going outside to all of the wonderful ecology that Philadelphia has. Like, I had not really explored Fairmount Park, and it's like right next door to my house. And how big it is. I'd been on the Schuylkill Trail before, but I didn't even know about the mansions. I didn't know about all the land that's across the river. About the kids that I teach at an elementary school in West Philly during the year, doing theater workshops. And I think about how, they might know about these spaces or they might not, but that if I didn't know about them, like how can we deliver these experiences to kids and also have them learn both building this relationship with nature and the wonder of nature and the beauty of nature, and also learning about the ways in which we're affecting our natural environment in negative ways.
We need to address the issues, but also not shield children from it, because thinking they're too young to handle it. Like, they're the ones that are going to grow up into this world. So if we start them off thinking about this at like a young age, I don't know. I just think that's a really good point to be like, well, the more you know, as they say. Then there's a rainbow icon. Yeah, that's really awesome. But when do you think this will be something that's available for people that are watching and are interested?
I want to create this series in the house for this longer term projects, especially around climate change and immigration issues, which would be 2 separate series. I'm hoping to have the climate change one out in spring of next year.
We'll definitely keep in contact and keep you guys updated and let you know when this is available. Hopefully in August, the children's like listening prototype, hopefully in August, and then we'll look out for next spring, because this is an amazing idea, and I know that you guys are super interested. So we'll keep checking in and like see how you're doing and letting people know the details of how they can access this. What else are you doing now that's bringing you joy?
I've been volunteering with an organization called Earthquaker Action Team for a year. They are advocating to get PICO to commit to 20% local solar by 2025. So that's been giving me a lot of life to stand up and say, no, this is wrong, as well as joining on the protests about Black Lives Matter. Been going to those, one about Black queer lives. I'm creating a show for the Fringe, interactive show that you will move through, where you're involved in a so-called eco-terrorist organization.
Fringe is happening. People that don't know.
Happening. And Fringe is going to happen in a really, really exciting, different way.
I'm honestly learning this information like as we're talking about it, because I was like, oh, maybe Fringe will happen, but like now I know to look out for Fringe. Philly Fringe is still happening, everyone, and look out for Linnea's piece.
You are a new recruit with this organization called New World Rising, which is the name of the show. I want people to engage with the complexities around social movements and being involved in an organization. And I want people to engage with the realities of our environmental situation. And then hopefully at the end, whether or not people decide to, what people decide to do with the show. I think there's going to be maybe an element of choice for you. That you'll finish the show and be like, well, how can I get involved? If these are the issues that we're dealing with as a society, what can I do? Mm-hmm. And then I'll offer resources about how people can give their time and money to fighting horrible corporations that are trying to break us apart.
And the choice at the end, I think, is super cool and important. Because I feel like a lot of people, when they learn about all these things or they get all of this new, maybe to them, information, it's like, well, I have all this information and the situation is so dire or so overwhelming. What can I, as one person, what can I possibly do? So I think it's great that you're supplying these resources to kind of be like, hey, you're one person and you can have an impact, before getting involved as much as you have, those moments of, well, I feel like I want to make a difference. How do I navigate? Where do I start and how do I do it?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there's been so many studies about how overwhelming information can be about the environment, because you're like, okay, the UN says we have 10 years to achieve carbon neutrality before we completely change our global ecosystem to the point where we can't revert. So that information is like, wait, what? And in light of that problem, it feels like I'm so tiny and I can't possibly take on that whole issue. And you can't, but at the same time, let's remind ourselves that we're not alone. You're joining a larger movement, and give your money to organizations that are doing it. There are people who are employed to create change, to advocate for change. You can give up your time. You can attend actions, including the protests that have been going on with Black Lives Matter. People showing up tells the government that this is important. And things are complicated during the pandemic. People are scared about getting sick, and that's totally legitimate. But there's other ways to get involved. So I'm planning, we have a call-in day coming where Equate will provide the phone numbers of PICO executives, and you can call those executives and tell them, based on a script that's written for you, and so easy access to information, what we're asking for. We want PICO to develop a comprehensive plan going forward long term, taking into account how the pandemic has affected people's finances and how they're unable to pay for energy. And we want them to do that considering our long-term energy future around sustainable energy. The other thing that I'm doing in the pandemic is planting a lot of things. And to be honest, like I kill a lot of plants. So like I overwater, but I've got all these little babies, all these babies over here.
Oh my goodness.
And I made that macrame. But do you see the third one? That's because I overwatered it and it died. So I have to put something else there. Anyway,
it looks beautiful though.
Thank you.
You're lovely. And we appreciate you so much at PAC for talking with us and spending time with us. Bye.